There's a moment that breaks most men. The moment you see her with someone else, everything inside you stops. Your chest tightens, your throat closes, and you feel something you hate. You feel powerless. But here's what I need you to understand. That moment isn't the end, it's the beginning. Before we go further, subscribe. Because what I'm about to tell you, most men will never hear. And you need to hear it more than once. Subscribe now. Let's be honest about what's really happening. She's with someone else. And you're sitting there replaying everything. What did I do wrong? What does he have that I don't? Why wasn't I enough? You're torturing yourself. Looking at her social media, seeing her smile with him, seeing her do the things she used to do with you, or worse, things she never did with you, and it's killing you. But let me tell you something. That pain you're feeling, it's not about her. Not really. It's about you. It's about the version of yourself you abandoned, the version you lost while chasing her. Here's the truth most men don't want to accept. When a woman is with someone else, your reaction reveals everything, not about her, about you. If you're broken, you weren't whole to begin with. If you're lost, you didn't have direction. If you're empty, you filled yourself with her instead of purpose. She didn't take anything from you. You gave it away. You made her your mission, your validation, your reason to wake up. And when she left, she took your identity with her. That's the real problem. Not that she's gone, but that you don't know who you are without her. So let's talk about what you actually do. Not to get her back, not to make her jealous, not to prove something to her, but to become the man you were supposed to be all along. First, you stop watching. You stop checking her profiles. You stop asking mutual friends about her. You stop driving past places, she'll be. You stop consuming information about her life because every time you do, you're poisoning yourself. You're keeping the wound open. You're choosing pain over peace. And I know what you're thinking, but I just want to know if she's happy. No, you don't. You want to know if she's hurting. You want to know if she misses you. You want to know if he's better than you. That's ego, that's weakness, that's you refusing to let go of something that's already gone. Cut it off completely. No exceptions, no just one last look, no birthday wishes, no casual likes on old photos. You go dark, not as a strategy, but as a standard because you respect yourself too much to beg for scraps of attention from someone who chose different. Now, here's where it gets hard. You have to sit with the emptiness. You have to feel the space she used to fill, and you have to resist the urge to fill it with someone new. Most men jump immediately into another relationship, another girl, another distraction because they can't stand being alone with themselves. But that's how you repeat the cycle. That's how you end up in the same place a year from now. Different girl, same pain. You have to be alone, not forever, but for now. Long enough to remember who you are. Long enough to rebuild what you lost, long enough to become someone you actually respect. And that takes time, months maybe, not days, not weeks, actual time where you do the work, where you face yourself honestly, where you stop running from the truth. The truth is she didn't just leave randomly, something was missing. Maybe it was in you, maybe it was in her, maybe it was both. But if you're honest, you'll admit you saw the signs, you felt her pulling away. You noticed the distance, you sensed the change, and instead of addressing it, you ignored it. You hoped it would fix itself. You tried harder in all the wrong ways. You became more available, more agreeable, more accommodating. You thought if you just loved her enough, she'd stay. But that's not how attraction works. Attraction isn't about how much you give. It's about who you are. And when you lose yourself trying to keep someone, you become less attractive, not more. You become needy, desperate, unattractive in the way that repels people. She didn't leave because you loved her too much. She left because you stopped being the man she was attracted to. You stopped leading your own life. If you stopped having your own mission, you made her the center of your world. And nobody wants to be the center of someone's world. They want to be part of a world that's already strong, already moving, already powerful. So if she's with someone else, good. Let her be, because now you get to do something most men never do. You get to choose yourself. Not out of spite, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. You get to wake up and ask a different question. Not, what does she want? but what do I want? Not how do I get her back, but who do I want to become? Not why did she leave, but where am I going? This is your opportunity, your chance to build a life so strong that losing one person doesn't destroy it. A life built on purpose, on discipline, on standards, on self respect that doesn't fluctuate based on who's interested in you. Start with your body, not because it'll make her jealous, but because you need to respect the vessel you live in. Train hard, eat clean, sleep well, move with intention. Your physical state affects everything: your confidence, your clarity, your energy. When your body is strong, your mind follows. When you look in the mirror and see progress, something shifts. You start to believe in yourself again. You start to see that you're capable of change, that you're not stuck, that you're not weak, that you have control over something, and that control spreads from your body to your mind, from your mind to your habits, from your habits to your entire life. The gym becomes your therapy. The weights become your meditation. The discipline becomes your identity. And every rep you complete is proof. Proof that you're not broken. Proof that you're rebuilding. Proof that you are becoming stronger than you were before. Then look at your work, your career, your mission. What are you building? What are you creating? What legacy are you leaving? Most men drift. They work jobs they hate. They waste time on things that don't matter. They fill their days with distractions. And then they wonder why they feel empty. You need something bigger than a relationship, something that drives you, something that excites you, something that makes you wake up with purpose even when you're alone. Find that, build that, protect that, and never abandon it for anyone. Because when you have a mission, everything changes. You're no longer desperate for validation. You're no longer looking for someone to complete you. You're already complete. You're already moving. You're already on a path. And the right person will want to walk beside you. Not redirect you, not slow you down, not make you choose between them and your purpose. They'll enhance what's already there. They'll support the mission. They'll respect the man you're becoming. And if they don't, they're not your person. Then fix your social life, your friendships, your community, your brotherhood. Most men isolate when they're hurt. They withdraw, they hide, they convince themselves they don't need anyone. But isolation breeds weakness. You need men around you, good men. Men who challenge you, men who hold you accountable, men who won't let you stay stuck in your feelings. Not yes men, not drinking buddies, real brothers, men on a similar path. Men who are also building, also growing, also refusing to settle. Surround yourself with them. Learn from them. Grow with them. Because iron sharpens iron, and weak men create weak circles. Strong men create strong circles. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose wisely, choose men who inspire you, who push you, who refuse to let you play small, who call you out when you're making excuses, who celebrate your wins genuinely, who support you through losses honestly. These men will save your life. They'll pull you out of dark places. They'll remind you who you are when you forget. They'll keep you accountable when you want to quit. Don't do this alone. You weren't built to. And here's the part nobody wants to hear. You have to forgive her. Not for her, for you. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting her to die. It doesn't hurt her. It destroys you. She's living her life. She's moved on. She's with someone else. And you're sitting there angry, bitter, replaying everything. That's not strength. That's weakness. Forgiveness doesn't mean what she did was okay. It doesn't mean you approve. It doesn't mean you want her back. It means you release the weight. You let go of the anger. You stop letting her live rentrée in your head. You take your power back and you move forward, because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And indifference is freedom. When you genuinely don't care what she's doing, who she's with, or how she feels about you, you've won. Not because you beat her, but because you freed yourself, and freedom is the goal. Not revenge, not proving her wrong, not making her regret. Freedom. The freedom to build your life without her shadow over it. The freedom to meet new people without comparing them to her. The freedom to be happy without needing her approval. The freedom to move forward without looking back. That's what forgiveness gives you, and you can't get there while holding grudges. You can't get there while replaying conversations. You can't get there while imagining what you should have said. You have to let it go. All of it. The good memories, the bad ones, the what ifs, the fantasies of reconciliation, the dreams of revenge. Let it all go. And step into the present moment, the only moment that actually matters, the only moment where you have power. Now, let's talk about the new you, the man you're becoming through this process. This man doesn't chase, he attracts, he doesn't beg for attention, he commands respect, he doesn't lose himself in relationships, he invites people into a life that's already full. This man has standards, not just for others, but for himself. He doesn't tolerate disrespect. He doesn't accept breadcrumbs. He doesn't settle for maybe. He knows his worth and he moves accordingly. This man doesn't need a woman to feel complete. He wants a partner, not a crutch, not a distraction, not someone to fill a void, a true partner, someone who complements his life, someone who adds to what's already strong, someone who respects the mission. This man understands that relationships are a choice, not a necessity. He chooses to share his life. He doesn't need someone to validate it. He's already validated by his work, by his discipline, by his integrity, by the man he sees in the mirror. And when you become this man, something interesting happens. Women notice, not just any women, high quality women, women who have their own lives, their own purpose, their own strength, women who aren't looking for someone to save them, but someone to build with. These women can sense the difference. They can feel your groundedness. They can see that you're not desperate, not needy, not broken. They see a man who's complete, a man who's chosen, a man who knows his value. And that's incredibly attractive because most men are walking around desperate, trying to prove themselves, trying to earn love, trying to be enough. But you're different now. You're not trying to be enough. You already are. You're not trying to prove anything. You're just being. And being is magnetic. And the woman who left, she might notice too. She might reach out. She might suddenly remember what she had. She might see you thriving, see you happy, see you with purpose, and she might want back in. And here's the test. What do? Do you run back? Do you accept her immediately? Do you drop everything you built? No. You evaluate with clear eyes, with a clear mind, without the fog of emotion. You ask hard questions. Why now? What changed? Is this genuine, or is she just attracted to your growth? Is she coming back to the man you've become, or running from the man she's with? Is she ready to respect your mission, or will she demand you abandon it again? And most importantly, do you even want her back? Because by the time she comes back, you might not. You might have outgrown her. You might realize she was part of an old chapter. You might see clearly that she's not aligned with who you're becoming. You might recognize patterns you couldn't see before. You might understand that her leaving was necessary for your growth. And that's okay. Actually, that's growth. That's you choosing yourself. That's you having standards. That's you respecting the work you've done. That's you honoring the man you've become. Because the old you would have taken her back immediately. The old you would have ignored every red flag. The old you would have been grateful she even considered you, but you're not that man anymore. You're the man who knows his worth, who has options, who has standards, who won't compromise his peace for anyone. But let's be real, she might never come back. She might stay with him. She might marry him. She might be perfectly happy. She might never think about you again. And you have to be okay with that. Not okay as in it doesn't hurt, but okay as in it doesn't destroy you. Okay as in you still move forward. Okay as in your happiness isn't dependent on her choices. Okay as in you've built a life that's fulfilling with or without her. Because here's the ultimate truth. You can't control what she does. You can't control who she chooses. You can't control how she feels. You can't control if she comes back. You can't control if she regrets leaving. You can only control you, your actions, your mindset, your standards, your growth, your response to pain, your commitment to becoming better. And when you focus on that, everything else falls into place. You become magnetic. You become confident. You become the kind of man people are drawn to. Not because you're trying, but because you're authentic, you're grounded, you're whole. And whole people attract whole people. Broken people attract broken people. Desperate people attract toxic people. But whole people attract healthy people. So if she's with someone else, let her be. Wish her well silently and walk away with your head high, not because you're pretending you don't care, but because you genuinely have something better to focus on. Yourself, your mission, your future, your becoming. This is your time, your season, your transformation. The universe has given you space. Space to grow, space to heal, space to become. Don't waste it looking back. Don't waste it bitter and angry. Don't waste it trying to prove something to someone who already made their choice. Use it. Use the pain as fuel. Use the heartbreak as motivation. Use the emptiness as space to build something greater. Because pain is a teacher, and this pain is teaching you who you are, what you're made of, what you're capable of. It's teaching you that you can survive what you thought would kill you, that you're stronger than you believed, that you don't need anyone to be whole, that your happiness is your responsibility, that your worth isn't determined by who wants you. These are lessons most men never learn. They go their whole lives dependent on external validation, on women's approval, on society's acceptance, on other people's opinions, but not you. You're learning a different way, the hard way, the painful way, but the only way that creates lasting change. Because one day you'll look back at this moment and you'll realize it wasn't the end. It was the beginning of you becoming the man you were always meant to be. Strong, purposeful, unshakable, whole, independent, grounded, clear, focused. And when you get there, you'll thank her. Not because she stayed, but because she left. Because her leaving forced you to find yourself, to build yourself, to respect yourself, to choose yourself. And that's the greatest gift anyone can give you. The opportunity to become, the opportunity to discover your own strength, the opportunity to stop seeking and start being. So do the work every single day. Even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, stay consistent. Trust the process. Trust that every painful day is building something. Trust that the emptiness will fill with purpose. Trust that the pain will transform into power and become undeniable. Become the kind of man who doesn't need closure, who doesn't need the last word, who doesn't need to be chosen because he's already chosen himself. If this resonated with you, subscribe, because you need to hear this more than once. You need the reminder. You need the reinforcement. You need to remember on the hard days. Subscribe now and start becoming who you're meant to,